I love helping people. As crazy as that sounds, it's like that's what fills me up. Doing the best job I can for somebody. And, whatever I do, I'm going to give it 110%. You have to focus on relationships and be on top of mind. I don't care, like you said, what business you're in.
Yeah.
And that's was kind of the turning point for me. It's like
you're pretty steady all the time, and I think the more steady you can be, like you need to be the lighthouse in the storm always.
Right.
And when you're that way, especially with real estate, is there's a lot to storms, and it's such an emotional thing. Welcome back to Focus to Win podcast. I'm here today with Reed Stupalski from our team, and just wanted to talk about your history. So want to get a little bit of your background. You've been in real estate since 2003. You've been on the team since 2017, January of 17, as we were just talking about how fast. Blink, 7 years goes by.
Absolutely crazy.
So, and previously you were in real estate, but you were doing more appraisal side of things. So let's talk about a little bit about your history.
Yeah, that's correct. So 2001, I started as an appraisal apprentice. And then, with my father and, growing up, he was always, he was a real estate broker and an appraiser. So I just kind of naturally gravitated towards, the real estate field, and the appraisal thing kind of just struck me as interesting at first. So, so 01, I started my appraisal apprenticeship, and then 2003, I decided to get into real estate sales. Actually, November of 03 is when I actually became licensed as a realtor.
Gotcha.
So,
and you went from how many homes were you selling about a year then in the beginning? Were you just
well back then? So that was 2003, 2004. Remember, the market was pretty crazy.
Yep.
It was rocking. So, it was my father. I had a partner, Tom, and myself, and we're probably selling about 50 to 60 per year.
Good.
At that point. So, we were, kind of just again as a cumulative total working together. So, by myself, I probably handled, I'd say 25-ish.
Okay, good.
So.
Yeah, it's funny because we connected in Austin in 2016, and you happened to run each other at a KW event and so forth, and then got to talking. And I was like, oh, small world. And then, built the relationship and ended up coming on to the team. And you end up going from so I think of your 20, 22, 25 deals a year, then went to 38, 51, 63, 79, 81, 83 deals a year. Through that, some of that chaos, I think of us working out together. And that was over the last few years. So it's been now a year or two since we've been working out. And I said to you, I was like, all right, what? I remember walking out of the gym and saying, all right, is your life more chaotic now, or was it more chaotic then?
Yeah, it's funny. I mean, right now, I feel like it is, and the past couple of years, it's slowed down a lot. And my focus has been fine-tuned thanks to you, and I feel like I have a better quality of life. I mean, I'm not sporadic, going everywhere, not knowing what to do throughout the day. Based on what you've shared with me and taught me is just controlling your schedule, blocking out time to do specific tasks, and when you get home, be present with your family.
Yeah, enjoy dinner together.
Correct.
Go around, see what's going on. Don't be glued to your phone all the time, which unfortunately we have to be responsive to our clients. But, how do you, make the people that are special in your life feel special and know that they're special too? So it's always that balance, right? Between work and life. And that's why I wanted to dig in quicker. So people are kind of getting these pieces of all right, you were selling 22 to 25 houses. Now you're selling 80 houses. So is your life, was that more chaos then than it is now, right? You said it's
100%.
You said it's slowed down. So I was like, all right, but you're making more money and you're selling more houses here at 80
with a better quality of life.
Better quality of life, right?
Yeah.
So it all comes back to what we talk about in the focus. It's focus to win, right? So what is your focus? So
my focus.
Yeah. So what do you think? What do you think? I think as a single agent, or even when you're running a company, you have this many things and tasks you have to do. Versus, do you think you're more narrowed down of just, hey, these are my important things and my tasks every day?
Correct. Yeah, that's 100% is the key to it. Is that you taught me how to focus on what I need to do to be dollar productive, as opposed to when you're a single agent, which, to back up, I was, with Long and Foster from 2013 to 2017 as a single agent, doing about 22 deals. And it's, from start to finish, your focus is all over the place because, from ordering a real estate sign to putting in the MLS, you're doing all of that. Where,
Right.
Coming on the team and you sharing your knowledge with me, I've eliminated the marketing aspect, the putting it on the market, the ordering signs, all those things have been taken off my plate, and allows me to focus on making the proper phone calls and making sure I'm being in contact as I should be with friends, family, sphere, past clients.
And this goes from any business, so it doesn't matter what it is, because some people think, oh, you're just real estate. But, if you're an electrician or a plumber, how often are you checking in with those people that are the ones that are doing a lot of business with you or have done business with you? Or how are you are you putting them in a database? Are you following up with them in some sort? Are you mailing to them? Are you emailing them? Are you doing anything to stay relevant in their life? Or is it like, oh, I have a plumbing issue. What was the last plumbing truck I seen? Then I'm going to call.
Correct.
Right. So
it's about relationships. I mean, copy and paste to any kind of business, like you said. I mean, you have to focus on relationships and being top of mind. I don't care, like you said, what business you're in. And that's was kind of the turning point for me. It's like when I could focus on just doing that, that's when my business started, expanding and increasing every year. Is just doing the things that mattered and not all the rest of the stuff that's just kind of noise.
Well, the things that you're not good at too, right? Like you're good with the relationship, you're good with the sales of it, good with structure of getting them through a transaction, making sure that you're not missing an obstacle. But then you also have, like, we're the tree shakers, right? And then you got the jelly makers that are admin staff that's really good at all the details. Not that you're not detail oriented, but they're in there helping, making sure we're making a mess. Let's clean it all out before there's a problem. So I think when you have those additional people with you, or marketing staff, like, hey, let's get this marketed out there. Hey, I need to, rather than me trying to film everything on my phone, let's make sure we're doing a good productive video and that's getting out on social media and all the places that we can market it to, and get you more attention, which again, that just makes you look better. So you can't do it all on yourself.
Correct. It's delegating, right?
Correct.
I was horrible at delegating, and it's still a work in progress. But I've gotten so much better with pushing the stuff off that I'm not good at. That I don't like doing.
You would be like, here, take this.
Correct.
Take this.
And now it's like, no, I have to do it. I have to print it out now. So now it's learning to delegate was another key. And once I did that, it freed up more of my time to find new business, to service my current clients and stay in touch with my past clients.
And then you've mastered more of your craft, right? Hey, going on the listing appointment, I'm focused with them. I'm looking at the details, because that end of the business is so detail oriented. And then it's a matter of staying in contact with them long term, because after the sale, it's not bye, it's hey, I'll talk to you soon, because we're going to talk again. I just want to check in with you. Then having client parties and our Thanksgiving event and all the things that we do as a team. So that helped build all of that for you, and snowballs over time, right? But I go back to that. How's your quality of life? Where you have more vacations, you see your kids more, you spend more quality time with them.
Not missing sporting events. Right. I'm there almost every night for dinner. I control my schedule. I pick the nights that I work for my late appointments, and I pick the nights that I'm going to be present, be at dinner. And that's the biggest thing. As my kids got older, you kind of realize time is precious. And I kind of, may have not realized that in the beginning. And it just, again, in hindsight, like I'm super thankful for what I've learned and what you've taught me, and it's greatly improved my quality of life by controlling my schedule, being recommitting basically to the family, recommitting to what I want to do as far as later in life and how I want to get there. And it's creating that business plan. It's
and you're perfect at it, right?
Yeah, of course. So it's just hyper focusing. I mean, that was, seriously, at the end of the day, you want to be present. You want to, have good health. Mind, body, soul, all of that. It's positioning yourself to be the best you can be every day.
Yeah, and take care of yourself before anybody else, right?
Yeah, yep.
Where
it's like we worked out in the morning, and it freed up my whole day instead of, oh, geez, I have to get to the gym. When am I going to get there? And then stressed out if I don't get there.
Right.
So,
yeah. Because at nighttime, now the day's gone on.
Yep.
The day's gotten a hold of you. There's always problems. There's always something, right? And we live with that. If we didn't have problems, life would be boring, right? Correct. But at the same time, then you wouldn't have that 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock workout time. Then you're trying to go to bed after that, and it's like, all right, now you have more energy because your endorphin release. Like, holy crap, why don't I use that in the morning? And we all love getting up at 5 a.m. or earlier, right? I know that was your favorite thing to do. But when you're meeting at the gym at 6, you have that accountability of being there. So I think of me, you, Austin, and Brendan. Like they would come one day, you would come twice a week with me. And the endorphin release when you're done, now your start of your day is like, all right, I just did the hardest thing first. Because it's not easy doing a hard workout, right? It's like you're doing a hard
getting up. The hardest thing, getting up and then showing up is the biggest thing. Yeah. Once you're there, it's cake, really. Getting through that, it's fun. And, it's accountability too. If I was just going on my own without anybody, nobody's meeting me there, would I show up every day?
Right.
And if I'm meeting you, I know you're counting on me to be there. I'm going to be there.
Right.
So, and that's the biggest thing. Do what you say.
Yeah.
You're value. Yeah, exactly.
Then it also comes back to like our text messages lately, our recap in a day now. It's like, all right, your accountability that we talked about is like, all right, you want to hit these goals. All right, your accountability is send me a text at the end recapping your what that day looks like. So there's accountability again of like, shit, I didn't have a great day, but today I did make 50 calls. Like I was like, holy shit, you made 50 calls. Congratulations. Like, because you weren't consistently hitting 20. So I think if everybody gets into consistency always wins the race. And you have to be persistent at it all the time. And I think that helps get you on pace to do things. And we've talked to that. You've heard that for 7 years from me. It's like,
and that's the thing before this, like I'll be the first one to, like, I was not consistent. If I wanted to go do this that wasn't work related, I would just do that.
Yeah.
Now every day I show up in the morning, I know what I'm doing. I'm going to be consistent. I'm doing the things that will be, at the end of the day, leading to dollars in my bank account. Yeah. I mean, that's why we do what we do, right?
Right. Exactly.
So, fund your life.
Well, it's funding your life and take care of your family, and then hitting the goals that you want to go after.
Yeah.
Because getting into a different house or buying a different vehicle or whatever else, that's some of it. But also, what do you want to do with your family? Where do you want to go? Who do you want to go do it with? Do you want to take the whole family? Or you're just taking one of them. Sure. You're going to do something with your son. You're going to do something with your daughter. Like what is that? So I think that when you start focusing on those things, and then you do as like the consistent, persistent always wins. The tortoise and the hare they always talk about is like tortoise isn't the most sexy, but the tortoise is steady. And all of a sudden, by the time you're done, you're going to have spurts of being the hare. But if you can stay just steady at it, at your like setting a standard and not going below that minimum every day, will make a drastic difference. When I think of that, so going back in time for you too, of you looking over, you've been in the business 23 years now, so 01 that you've been in real estate.
Yep.
You have a pretty good referral business. But is there some consistent things that you do with that?
Yeah. I mean, honestly, it's staying in touch, with my sphere, past clients, reaching out to them, asking them how they're doing, showing that you care. Not just one and done and that's it. Showing them you care, inviting them to client events, periodic, just, mailers, Christmas cards, all of the things.
But a phone call goes such a long way.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. First and foremost is a phone call, just checking in, just seeing how people are doing and, offering assistance. So whether it has nothing to do with real estate, if they need a, recommendation for a contractor, what kind of router to get for their Wi-Fi, whatever it is, I would like to be correct, the resource. That's it. So, and there's people that reach out to me that, they've seen me, they know how I handle myself and the business, and they contact me just through that aspect of it. It's what you put out there.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, you don't like, I don't think you ride the roller coaster of like high, low, low. You don't come in like, bah, like, you know, but you're pretty steady all the time. And I think the more steady you can be, like you need to be the lighthouse in the storm always.
Correct.
And when you're that way, especially, you know, with real estate is there's a lot to storms, like, you know, so it's a matter of people ride, and it's such an emotional thing. So when you're so steady for them, that really helps calm them, because they're fired up on something, whether it be an inspection, appraisal, the house sitting too long, something happens, something breaks, you know, just anything can happen, right? So, but if you're always that calming voice through it, getting it through, counseling through the sessions, getting them on to the next thing, now that, like, a lot of people don't talk about it, but being calm and taking the emotion out helps be. You don't want to. We talk about mirror and matching in sales. You don't want to mirror and match that end of it.
No, so. You have to be the calm. You have to be the person that, you know, somebody can reach out to and know you're not going to blow up,
right?
Or know you're not going to just fly off the handle. And I mean, nobody wants that, right?
Yep.
I mean, that's if you take the emotion out of the business, then you're a true professional. And you know, so many people that I've talked to, it doesn't matter the industry, they get so worked up over the smallest problem. And what happens when that happens, right? Yeah, you're thinking not logically. It's what reptilian at that point. Yeah. You're just reacting, and you know that's not what people need. They need a professional, right? So being consistent, and exactly, and you know taking care of yourself. You know, exercising, that's a release of endorphins, but it's a release to or outlet for the stress. Right. You know, real estate's not the easiest business. You're under constant stress, but it's how do you handle that and how do you expel that stress, you know, and I think the best avenue is through exercise. Yeah. Yeah. So, for us, I think that's why I like it in the morning. You know, we were talking to Riley saying, I got to do it in the evening. Like everybody, as long as you do it, I really don't care. Yeah. But you've got to do it for you to take care of yourself, because if you don't take care of yourself, then you can't take care of others. Correct.
I mean, and so ultimately it starts from there. But let's go into the market. Anything, you know, you've seen quite a bit evolve, you know, like the real estate market, you know, 2003, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and then as we go back up through, and then it went like 21, 22, was really interesting. Any tidbits that you've taken over the years that like, hey, I've watched these trends, or anything that you're looking at, especially like, because you have a different aspect with the appraisals too. You have that appraisal background, being a certified appraiser and so forth. Anything that you like really notice over these last 20 years that you're using that helps you with your clients too?
I mean, honestly, it's again, education, and setting expectations. I mean, the market's always going to cycle. There's always going to be dips. There's always going to be highs in the market. And, you know, if somebody's, the biggest thing I try to tell people that are trying to time the market is you can never time the market.
Like buying stock.
Exactly. You know, you need to buy this if it fits your needs now, not based on, hey, I think this is going to appreciate to X, Y, and Z in the future. You know, and it really depends on your goals. But yeah, I mean, just seeing the cycles, everything's always in a cycle, right? You know, so just educating them on that is the biggest thing. So people don't have to, you know, worry about, hey, am I going to lose money if I buy this now? Sure. It's just educating them on what's happened in the past. Yep. So
and you have to live somewhere. There's got a cost. There's a cost always to that, right?
Correct.
I mean, no matter what, you need shelter.
And the other thing is not over improving for the neighborhood. You know, you don't want to have the biggest and best house in the neighborhood. That's another key thing that I try to tell people. You know, you don't need to put, you know, let's just say marble walls up. Right. You know, you're not going to get a return on investment in that. So, you know, it's just educating on, okay, if you do this is probably going to be a return. You know, do it because you want to do it and you're going to enjoy it. Don't do it because you think you're going to get 100% or 200% return on your money. Yeah, very rarely do you get 100% return on anything that you're putting in the house. Painting, maybe. Painting, carpets, some of that stuff. Some incidentals, changing light fixtures and knobs. I mean, most of the cases, you're dressing up the house and getting it up to standards of today. But you're not going in and do a remodel on a kitchen to sell a house. So I've had people say remodel a bath or a kitchen. I'm like,
you're going to get 60%, back on that, or maybe 70%. And sometimes it's less than that. You do a high-end kitchen, you may only get 50% on the dollar back.
Yeah. If you spend $100 grand on a kitchen, you're not getting $100 out.
Right.
No.
Exactly. So it's a matter of so people getting educated on that, or reaching out to, somebody that's a professional like you, especially with the appraisal background. I think that's such a big thing.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Cost does not equal value. That's the biggest thing I learned. That's my dad drilled into me, from the get-go. Cost does not equal value.
Yeah.
You put in a $200,000 pool, you're not getting that back.
No.
Do
it's
it.
Vacation, as long as you're enjoying the vacations at home.
Yeah. Would you rather vacation in your backyard, vacation somewhere else? I mean, that's, it's just for, the benefit of using it, not for resale.
Right.
So,
anything else? So, when you think back to your history over the years, any like major challenge that pushed you, like, holy crap, I was at a tipping point that all of a sudden I was sliding back, and I did this that got me through it. I mean, again, it's coming back to focus to win, right? So it's a matter of what does that look like?
I mean, honestly, I think, again, kind of the turning point was, it was 2015, 2016, thinking about, okay, my focus started turning at that point, like, my daughter, is going to go to college soon. Now she's a senior in college, but it's, thinking about future costs, and it started to, create a maturity in me, and thinking of, okay, what do I need to do to, reevaluate my life, and how much focus am I going to put in the business, and what it's going to do for me.
Yeah.
So, at certain points, with the economy and everything else, there was thoughts of, getting out of real estate at some point, but at the end of the day, what's that?
I said, glad you did.
Yeah, exactly. But at the end of the day, I love helping people. As crazy as that sounds, it's like that's what fills me up.
Yeah.
Doing the best job I can for somebody, and that's, again, just parlays into my whole life. Whatever I do, I'm going to give it 110%.
How you do one thing is how you do everything.
Exactly. I'm not going to do something, 50% and say, oh, this was great. So, but reevaluate my focus. And at that point, I started looking, to join a team, because I knew through, readings and such like that, I needed to change my daily habits. And me being an individual agent, I didn't have it in me to force myself to change on my own. I needed an external influence to do that. And, so I started, like you said, I've been in the business since 2003, theoretically, with real estate sales, and you and I never crossed paths. But then, I go to the KW event in Austin, Texas, and end up having dinner with you. Yeah. So, I'm a big thing of, big believer of fate. And from then, I think after 6 months, I joined the team, and it's been absolutely life changing. So,
well, a lot of people look at splits, right? And I was like, 100% of nothing's nothing, right? You can go do it on your own.
That's what my dad always said.
Yeah, but it's like there's so much involved, and it's such a great expense that we're incurring to help, right? And it's a matter of you have to find the one that's willing to help.
Correct.
That's the other thing, and doing it for the right reason. Like, I know what I've learned over the years is the more I help others get what they want, then I'll get what I want. And you know that with your clients. Like, you help them get what they want, you're going to get what you want. That's when you get paid. Otherwise, you don't get paid.
Exactly.
Right. So, and you're not chasing a dollar. You're doing it for the right reasons because you want to help. That's the other big thing.
And I've come, as you have, I'm sure you've experienced a lot of individuals like that chase the dollar. And me personally, I can see typically right through that. And that's a number one turnoff for me. Like, I run the opposite direction. And I knew from the start you weren't like that. I could tell just from, our conversations. And that's what, was one of the main attractions, that your ability and focus, to refocus my daily activities.
Right.
So, and like you said, accountability. I mean, I need that, slap to say, hey, what the hell did you do today?
But most people do. Like, there's trainers at the gym, there's business coaches, there's like Weight Watchers or what are all the other companies, rather than if you're just getting a shot for it, you're going in for some kind of accountability and coaching, right? It's like, hey, these are the things that you need to do. When you're on a diet, just close your mouth a little bit more. Don't eat the things in front of you. Don't, well, to lose weight or to go to the gym and train. Like you can't just go 1 day a week. You have to go 4 to 5 days a week. You have to eat clean 4 to 5 days a week. Maybe you have a cheat day, and usually it's 6 days and you have one cheat day.
Correct.
But if you could have 7 days and just stay steady at it and change lifestyle a little bit, that's where I was seeing the greatest gains. And I've seen that with here, because it's like you can't do just a couple of days of activities that are going to produce to get you the end result. But if you stay really focused on less things and simplify and have others do what they're really good at, that is the thing of like, hey, I'm going to hand this off and I'm okay handing this off, rather than when you first started, you were like, you can take it and you wanted to pull it back.
Exactly. And, first it was so, because, you understand, I came from a place where I did everything.
Yep.
I didn't have any support personnel, and it was so hard for me to let things go, because I knew I did it a certain way, and I didn't trust other people to do it that way. And that was, trust was built over time. And, even today I'm still handing off more and more stuff.
Right. Good.
And then again, refocusing my time where, when I first came on the team, I was still doing appraisals.
For a couple of years, actually.
But every single year I was doing less and less and less. And, I went, I don't know, for appraisals, it's basically a rotation, and you strive to get on these banks approved roster list,
right.
And the more you turn down, obviously it's a negative grade on you. So I was afraid to turn those things down,
Sure.
But over time, I was doing the daily activities here, and I saw the proof was in the pudding. Like, it worked, and it allowed me to back off on the appraisals. So,
yeah, because you're making more money with the time here than putting the time into that, and then it's distracting from your family and work, right?
Yeah, it was.
Because now you're taking some of your family time away, and it's like, that wasn't worth it.
Yeah, honestly, if you look at every appraisal, probably took my probably 4 hours of focus. Okay. Honestly, from start to finish, 4 hours of
focus time,
just uninterrupted focus time. And whether that was, it typically was always at night, and that's time away from the family, and what does that do to your relationship?
Right. Doesn't help
problems.
Doesn't help it.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, by backing off of the appraisals, focusing more on my real estate business, obviously it's more lucrative, but it fills you up more, and it improved relationships at home.
Yeah.
So it's,
you got your son's graduating high school this year. You got daughters graduating college. You and Shai, the main ones. Well, all of them are home for the most part, but you're just getting more quality of life and enjoying those years, because the time clicked by, and then all of a sudden they're all moved out, and it's just the two of you. Like, shit, I wish I woulda, wish I coulda. The cemetery's full of regrets.
Regret's
so at least
the worst thing. I do not want to be 80 years old with regret. Because there's nothing you can do about it at that point, right?
Exactly. So it's a matter of doing the things for the right reason. So I'd say, going back, how about any insight for new or newer agents, or somebody that's struggling, somebody that's been in the business, that's struggling and it's not getting through, like anything that comes to mind that would help them?
Honestly, it's the biggest thing I'd tell you is join a team. That's, you need to develop the right habits from the get-go. And if you do that and you follow what you're supposed to do on a daily basis, you'll be successful.
So I don't have to pay you for that.
And for example, there was somebody that transitioned, retired from a career that, another state that wanted to get in real estate. They took the exam. I talked to them multiple times about joining a team. I even found them certain teams to interview with. And at the end of the day, they were more hyper-focused on what the commission split was than what the value would be. So where do you think they are now?
Either out of the business,
because they didn't join a team. They went with somebody that was going to give them a higher split. They didn't get the proper training. They didn't do role play. They were just handed, here's a desk and have at it.
So what do you think? So I think it's like calendar management, organization, focus on dollar productive activities.
Yep.
I'm summarizing kind of what you said for them too.
It's like, controlling your calendar, showing up every single day, showing up Monday through Friday, every single day. At 9 a.m., 8:30 a.m., 8 a.m., whatever time you choose to get in the office, get in the office and work. Like
Yeah.
take that time, go through role play in the morning, practice your scripts, know how to communicate with people, and then from, take 2 to 3, 4 hours of outbound prospecting.
Practice. So
Yeah.
athletes practice for hours every day to play minutes in a game. Salespeople practice on the client all the time. Practice on other agents. Practice on your spouse, significant others.
Yep.
That will help you the most.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing is set your time. I'm getting out of bed at this time. So I was talking to Brendan on the team, and he's like, I'm going to get up 5:15. Well, 5:30. I was like, all right, which one is it? Because you're confusing your brain.
Yeah.
He's like, all right, I'm going to do a 5:15. I'm like, all right, well, send me a text when you're up in the morning.
Okay.
So he's like, but I have a hard time. I was like, look, watch this. Feet hit the floor, right? Now get your ass out of bed and keep moving. And then you have no problem. Don't hit the snooze button. Just let your feet hit the floor, and then you'll roll out of bed, and you'll be okay.
Do you ever hit the snooze button?
Never. I mean, as bad as I can't say never. This morning after traveling all day yesterday, my alarm went off. Had no idea where I was at 7:30 this morning when it went off. I usually up at 4:45, but travel yesterday and everything else. So I woke up and I'm like, I don't even know where I'm at today.
Yeah.
And it took me like 20 minutes to get out of bed. And then I
That's
just got up.
understandable.
But during the week, even I get up at 4:44, alarm goes off. I don't even think about it. I shut it off. I let my feet hit the floor and I get out of bed. And do you think I want to get out of bed?
No.
Hell no. After 5.5 hours sleep most nights, no.
It's amazing commitment. I mean, I'll hit the snooze button, a couple of times, especially when it's really cold out. You
nice
don't
warm
wanna
bed.
Get out. Yeah,
right.
You don't want to get out of bed, but again, it comes back to your commitments to yourself, to your family.
Yeah. And life's never perfect. So that's one of the things I want to say. Like, it's never perfection, but the better you can get with just less obstacles, the better that you are.
Exactly.
And just tight on time. So, any closing thoughts for our viewers?
Yeah, I appreciate you having me on here. At the end of the day, what are your commitments to yourself and to your family? And whatever those are, execute on them.
I'll recap commitments real quick because I'll never forget I heard this at a conference.
Yeah.
You're flying, we're in Maryland, flying to California. Your friend's going to pick you up at the airport and they say, hey, I'm flying in. I land at 9:30 at night. Are you coming to pick me up? Yep, that's the goal. Like, how well do you feel about that? Because I don't think you'd feel real warm and fuzzy. But if they said, hey, I gassed up the vehicle, my wife's watching the kids, I'm committed, I'm going to make it there. I'm ready to go. I'll see you. It takes a half hour to get there. I'm leaving my house at 9. I'll see you at 9:30. That sounds like a commitment, right?
Yep.
That's the goal.
That second part, like, I know you're going to be there. They're going to be there. That's the goal. I'm feeling really not good about them showing up.
Yeah. So that's a commitment. So think of what you're committing to yourself.
Yeah.
Subscribe below. We look forward to see you on the next one.
Thanks again.